Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We would like to welcome one and all to the International Al-Quds Day, commemorated on the last Friday of Ramadan every year, in solidarity with the oppressed people of Palestine and those all over the world. Today, our guest speaker is Dr. Abbas Ali Shameli from Iran, now residing in Canada. Dr. Abbas holds a PhD in education and a degree in Islamic philosophical psychology, and has participated in seminars and conferences all over the world and authored many books. His topic today is the destiny of the Jewish people according to Quran. We'd also like to thank Iranian news agency for covering the event.
السلام عليكم جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله الذي لم يشهد أحدا حين فطر السماوات والأرض ولا اتخذ معينا حين برئ النسماء. لم يشارك في الإلهية ولم يظاهر في الوحدانية. كلت الألسن عن غاية صفته والعقول عن كنه معرفته، وتواضعت الجبابرة لهيبته وعنت الوجوه لخشيته، وانقاد كل عظيم لعظمته. صل اللهم على الدليل إليك والماسك من أسبابك بحبل الشرف الأطول، والناصع الحسب في ذروة الكاهل الأعبل، والثابت القدم على زحاليفها في الزمن الأول، سيدنا وسيد الكونين حبيب إله العالمين الذي سمي في السماء أحمد وفي الأرض بأبي القاسم المصطفى محمد. والصلاة والسلام على الشهداء والصديقين والأئمة المعصومين لا سيما بقية الله. قال الله العظيم في كتابه الكريم: وقضينا إلى بني إسرائيل في الكتاب لتفسدن في الأرض مرتين ولتعلن علوا كبيرا، فإذا جاء وعد أولاهما بعثنا عليكم عبادا لنا أولي بأس شديد فجاسوا خلال الديار وكان وعدا مفعولا. ثم رددنا لكم الكرة عليهم وأمددناكم بأموال وبنين وجعلناكم أكثر نفيرا. إن أحسنتم لأنفسكم وإن أسأتم فلها، فإذا جاء وعد الآخرة ليسوءوا وجوهكم وليدخلوا المسجد كما دخلوه أول مرة وليتبروا ما علوا تتبيرا. Al-Isra, verses number 4 to 7. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in different verses, in different chapters of the Holy Quran, reveals, talks about the nature of Judaism, Jews. Like Muslim Jews are divided into two groups. Jews and Zionists. Like Muslims who are true Muslims, true believers, and the hypocrites. Marshall Hudson, in his volume, The Advent of Islam, talks about two types of Islamic teachings. Sometimes you talk about Islamic teaching, and sometimes you talk about Islamic teachings. By Islamic it means the local cultural spices that we put in the pure teachings of Islam. So we should be very careful not to make a mistake to take the Islamic as Islamic. Whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed in the Holy Quran and sent it to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is Islamic, not Islamic cake. Islamic cake is the cultural local spices that we put. And we have to be careful not to mix the pure with the fabricated. Just a simple translation of the verses of Al-Isra, chapter of Ascendance, Al-Mi'raj. And we had made known to the children of Israel in the book, most certainly you will make mischief in the earth twice, and most certainly you will behave insolently with great insolence. When the first of the warnings came to pass, we sent against you our servants, given to terrible warfare. They entered the very inmost parts of your homes, and it was a warning completely fulfilled. Then did we grant you the return as against them. We gave you increase in resources and sons, and made you the more numerous in manpower. Then did we, if you did well, you did well for yourself. If you did evil, you did it against yourselves. So when the second of the warnings came to pass, we permitted your enemies to disfigure your faces and to enter your temple as they had entered it before, and to visit with the destruction all that fell into their power. Brothers in faith, I need to advise myself and yourself to retain piety and taqwa. As you may know, today is the day of commemoration and show sympathy and togetherness and integration with the oppressed Muslims in the Holy Land of Al-Quds and Masjid Al-Aqsa, the first Qibla of us as Muslims. The issue of Quds today is not the issue of Islamic war. It's the issue of humanity. There is something going wrong with humanity, and if we keep silent, the next time it will be our turn. They will come to us. While I was preparing myself for this talk, I remembered the very nice statement of Nelson Mandela. He stressed, South African freedom is not complete without the eradication of apartheid. if apartheid values, if apartheid culture is still exist in this country, there is no freedom. There is no relief. Because people behind the screen, they are doing their own job. Total eradication of apartheid means you have the right of participation. You are the owner, you are the core, and they are the periphery. There is no share. There is no top-down relationships. This is your land. And he added, Nelson Mandela added, our freedom in South Africa is not complete without the freedom of Palestinians in Palestine. Why? Because we human beings live in one land, in one planet. In Farsi, you may have heard of this very integrating point. In Farsi, we have a very famous poet that we call Saadi Shirazi. Saadi Shirazi. A very famous poet. He says, Bani Adam azay yek peykaran, in Farsi. Then I translate it into English. Bani Adam azay yek peykaran, که در آفرینش ز یک گوهرند، چو عضوی به درد آورد روزگار، دگر عضوها را نماند قرار. تو کز محنت دیگران بیغمی، نشاید که نامت نهند آدمی. Human beings are members of one whole body. Human beings are members of one whole body. In creation of one essence and a soul. If one member is afflicted with pain, if one member is afflicted with pain, other members uneasy will remain. Other members uneasy will remain. If you've no sympathy for human pain, if you've no sympathy with human pain, the name of human you cannot retain. The name of human you cannot retain. Brothers in faith, Islam is the culture of care. The culture of care. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, كلكم راع وكلكم مسؤول عن رعيته. من أصبح ولم يهتم بأمور المسلمين فليس بمسلم. If you sleep without having any concern about your brothers and sisters in all other corners of the world, then could you call yourself as Muslim? Pain for one part of the Islamic land is the pain for us. If they keep silent, then they'll come to us. This is the ruling of human life. If someone comes to you, attacks you, provide you oppression, if you keep silent, then they come forward step by step. And they kick you out. If you fight, if you stand, if you persist, then they will realize that you are not a passive. You will not be the victim. Brothers, the last Friday of the holy month of Ramadan is a chance, is a gift of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We need to keep our voice. A nation which does not have voice will be the victim. And the last Friday of Ramadan is the occasion of Muslims to have voice, to express, to utter yourself, to utter your value system. كونا للظالم خصما وللمظلوم عونا. Against the oppressors, be the enemy. And besides the oppressed, be the helper. This is the law of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, as Nelson Mandela mentioned, without total eradication of apartheid, there is no real freedom. It's a slogan. It's a voice. In your practical daily life, there is no impact. Again, in Palestine, whenever we suffer from Zionism, there is no peace. There is no peace. Both according to the Islamic teaching and to what scholars of sociology and anthropology they provide. Peace and justice always come together. If we are going to flood to the land of coexistence, to the land of globalization, we are in need of two wings, justice and peace. What do I mean by justice? In justice, in a just environment, you don't have top-down relationships. You don't have second citizenship, third level of citizenship. They are all located at the same level. Brothers, eradication of Zionism means that whether by force, we kick them out. Palestine is not their land. Is the land of poor people who are wandering here and there for 7 decades. And if they are really looking for peace, they have to recognize others, quote unquote, others. In the Holy Land of Al-Quds, there are 3 nationalities, 3 groups: Muslims, Jews, Christians. One good way, easy way is referendum. Why fighting? Why ups and downs? Why hidden agenda? Simply referendum. If you are following the slogan of democracy and liberalism, then why don't you play game? Why do you play game? Referendum. Whatever people vote for. In that case, they have state, they have government, ad hoc, mixed, Jews, Muslims, and Christians. Because all we have something over there. Quds is not excluded land. It's not the land of Jews. You are talking about a government from Nile to Euphrates. Why? Is it us who change the teachings of Allah, or teaching of Allah who changes us? Who change us? I believe that we need to thank all Muslims all over the world who come today for resistance, for providing the voice. And all media all over the world should present, should cover this Advent, this very important Advent. Muslims have care and concern about the Holy Land of Masjid Al-Rahman. And unless there will be justice, there won't be any peace. There won't be any peace. Justice and peace are 2 wings for flight to the land of cooperation, to the land of coexistence. Brothers, we suffer nowadays from 2 main troubles and problems. These are the obstacles for the Palestinians to become free. Number one, problem of radical Islam, providing aggressive image about Islam. Islam is the religion of compassion and togetherness and care. Radical Islam is problem number one. Problem number two are the Muslim states all over the world. According to what I understand, and I share with you, Muslim governors of today are trapped by a curse and devil triangle. Curse and devil triangle made by Israel, United States, and UK. There are, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, as a result of your persistence, as a result of your care, there are some slogans all over the world. Look, voices of today against the supporters of Palestine. There are some voices. Look, how effective was your slogan? Yes, we are with Palestinians. Palestine will not be released unless we have the eradication of Zionism. Zionism is the aggressive, oppressing Judaism. We share with Judaism. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Ya Ahl al-Kitab, ta'alaw ila kalimatin sawa'in baynana wa bayn. But about Zionism, we are against. James Wolseley, look, James Wolseley, the previous head of CIA, says today the Islamic pole has been challenging the global coded structure. They are looking for globalization. And when you ask, what do you mean by globalization? They say the hidden agenda behind globalization means Americanization, Zionization of the whole world. The story of Nile to Euphrates is the first step. They are looking for a global top-down relationships. This is number one. Number two, Brzezinski in Atlantic session says, human history, look, these are the realities. Human history has arrived to a great but a sharp turning point with a roadmap designed and formed by Muslims, as we call it, Islamic awakening. Islamic awakening all over the world. Muslims are awake, are conscious, are active, are participant. They are not more passive Muslims. This is Brzezinski in Atlantic session. And Netanyahu is uttering a purple shouting by saying, in the Middle East, whenever I walk in, I will see people who have set up a tent, and people are against Zionism wherever I go. And USA Today says, our Muslim competitors are more powerful and cleverer than what we have been guessing. Why? All because of Islamic awakening is spreading everywhere. The holy land of Al-Quds will be free. A new world order will come into being, which recognize all other voices, including the voices of Muslims in Palestine. This is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has revealed in His divine book. قال الله العظيم في كتابه الكريم هو الذي أرسل رسوله بالهدى ودين الحق ليظهره على الدين كله ولو كره المشركون ولو كره الكافرون. It is who has sent his messenger with guidance and the religion of truth, that we might cause it to prevail over all religions. Though the polytheists may be averse, there will be a reunion of all divine religions, which restructure the tower of oneness of Allah on the earth. One more time, humanity will come back to a religious unity to prove that human prosperity is guaranteed only and only within the religion of Allah. And at that time, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, لِتَكُونَ كَلِمَةُ اللَّهِ هِيَ الْعُلْيَا, until the word of Allah is up and superior. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammadin wa sahbi Muhammad. Allahumma inna nashku ilayka faqd nabiyyina. Allahumma inna nashku ilayka faqd nabiyyina. صلواتك عليه وآله وصحبه الميامين وغيبة ولينا وكثرة عدونا وقلة عددنا وشدة الفتن بنا وتظاهر الزمان علينا فصل على محمد وآله وصحبه الميامين وأعنا على ذلك بفتح منك تعجله وبضر تكشفه ونصر تعزه وسلطان حق تظهره ورحمة منك تجللناها وعافية منك تلبسناها برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين وسلام على المرسلين وصلى الله على سيدنا وحبيبنا محمد وآله وصحبه الميامين. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We thank Dr. Abbas Ali Shameli for his Jummah lecture today. Just two announcements. Firstly, we at the Institute for Islamic Services still need your zakat and lila funds to help those in need through our various projects. We are also collecting fitrah, which is 28 rand per person. There will be boxes in the wudu khana and at the masjid doors after the remaining salah. You can also visit us at 330 Carmine Street in Lodium. We are open this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Secondly, inshallah, there will be a protest for Palestine outside the Israeli Trade Office today at 2 p.m. It will take place on West Street in Sandton. We ask people to attend. Jazakallah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قال الله تبارك وتعالى إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا وحبيبنا وشفيعنا ومولانا محمد صلى الله تعالى عليه وسلم.
Assalamu alaikum.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين ولا عدوان إلا على الظالمين، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله ولي الصالحين، وأشهد أن سيدنا محمدا عبد الله ورسوله بلغ رسالة وأدى الأمانة ونصح الأمة وكشف الأمة وجاهد في سبيل الله حق جهاده حتى أتاه اليقين. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك عليه أفضل صلاة وأعظم تسليم. أما بعد، يقول ربنا سبحانه وتعالى في القرآن الكريم: وقضينا إلى بني إسرائيل في الكتاب لتفسدن في الأرض مرتين ولتعلن علوا كبيرا فإذا جاء وعد أولاهما بعثنا عليكم عبادا لنا أولي بأس شديد فجاهدوا خلال الديار وكان وعدا مفعولا ثم رددنا لكم الكرة عليهم وأمددناكم بأموال وبنين وجعلناكم أكثر نفيرا. نحن في انتظار هذه الكرة الثانية، ثم رددنا لكم الكرة عليهم. نحن في انتظارها. نسأل الله سبحانه وتعالى أن تكون قريبة، أن تتحد الأمم والشعوب وتتوحد ضد عدو الله سبحانه وتعالى. الله سبحانه وتعالى ذكر في سورة البقرة بني إسرائيل، وتحدث عن هذه السورة من أكثر ما تحدث عن بني إسرائيل في سورة البقرة. ثم أنزل سبحانه وتعالى سورة أخرى في الجزء الأخير من نصف القرآن الأول، سورة الإسراء، الذي ذكرت فيها هذه الآيات. أيها الأحباب، إن قرآننا يتلونا، قرآننا يعلمنا، قرآننا الذي نتلوه حق تلاوته ونعبد الله سبحانه وتعالى به حق عبادته ينبغي أن يكون في قلوبنا. ينبغي أن، كما وصف النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قرآنا، وصف النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قرآنا يمشي بين الناس، قرآنا يمشي على الأرض. ينبغي أن نكون كذلك. لا ينبغي للمسلم أن يقرأ ألا لعنة الله على الكاذبين وهو يكذب. لا ينبغي للمسلم أن يقرأ ألا لعنة الله على الظالمين وهو يكذب. لا ينبغي للمسلم أن يقرأ طوال القرآن اللعنة والكفر على القاتلين وهو يقتل. لا ينبغي للمسلم أن يفعل هذا باسم الإسلام، فالإسلام منه بريء. كل من يقتل مسلما حتى ولو باسم الإسلام فالله سبحانه وتعالى منه بريء. ينبغي أن يراجع نفسه، ونسأل الله سبحانه وتعالى أن نكون من عباده الذين يستمعون القول فيتبعون أحسنه، أولئك الذين هداهم الله وأولئك هم أولو الألباب. الحمد لله رب العالمين، واشهد ان لا اله الا الله ولي الصالحين، واشهد ان سيدنا محمدا عبد الله ورسوله. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك عليه افضل صلاه واعظم تسليم. اما بعد، ايها الاحباب، ينبغي ان نتوحد، ينبغي ان نتآلف، ينبغي ان نتعارف، ينبغي ان نتفاهم. كل هذه مقومات الامه المسلمه التي جعل الله سبحانه وتعالى قواما للناس وشهداء على الناس، شهداء على الناس، ويكون الرسول عليكم شهيدا. أن نكون شهداء على الناس ونحن بهذا الضعف، أن نكون شهداء على الناس ونحن بهذه الفرقة، أن نكون شهداء على الناس ونحن بهذه المهانة، أن نكون شهداء على الناس ونحن بهذه الذلة. كيف نكون شهداء على الناس ونحن هذه حالتنا في الدنيا؟ ينبغي أن نكون أعزاء، عزة على الكافرين، أذلة على المؤمنين، عزة على الكافرين. نحن الأعزاء بهذا الدين العظيم الذي منحنا الله سبحانه وتعالى إياه. ينبغي أن نكون كذلك، ونسأل الله سبحانه وتعالى أن يغفر لنا جميعا. اللهم اغفر لنا وارحمنا وعافنا واعف عنا وتجاوز عن سيئاتنا. اللهم اكرمنا ولا تهنا وكن لنا ولا تكن علينا. اللهم حبب الينا الايمان وزينه في قلوبنا وكره الينا الكفر والفسوق والعصيان واجعلنا من الراشدين. اللهم خذ بايدينا منا اليك ولا تخزنا ولا تفضحنا في يوم العرض عليك. اللهم انا نسالك يا ربنا البر والرحمه والهدى والهدايه والتوفيق. اللهم اجعلنا من المغفور لهم في هذا الشهر الكريم المبارك. اللهم اجعلنا من المغفور لهم في هذا الشهر الكريم المبارك. اللهم انصر اخواننا المسلمين في كل مكان، وانصر اخواننا المسلمين في فلسطين وفي العراق وفي سوريا وفي اليمن وفي ليبيا وفي بورما وفي كل مكان من ارض الاسلام. اللهم انا نسالك يا ربنا النصر لجميع المسلمين. اللهم انصرهم على عدوك وعدوهم يا رب العالمين. اللهم اجعلهم على عدوك ظاهرين. اللهم اطعمهم من جوع، اللهم اكسهم من عري، اللهم اسقهم من ظمأ. اللهم انا نسالك يا ربنا ان ترحمنا بالقران. اللهم ذكرنا منه ما نسينا وعلمنا منه ما جهلنا، وارزقنا تلاوته اناء الليل واطراف النهار على الوجه الذي يرضيك عنا يا رب العالمين. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى اله وصحبه واخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين.